Hello you guys, welcome back to a new video. I've had a bit of a knockback today, shall we say. So it's Monday, the plasterers have just come and joined us for a new week of plastering. The aim was today, because there were two plasterers today, last week we had a labourer and a plasterer, today we have two plasterers and a labourer. Two plasterers means more plastering, but they wanted to tackle some of the bigger areas. So they wanted to reboard the loft, plaster the new ceiling in the landing, and I think they wanted to maybe try and get another couple of rooms done. Slight problem, I feel like I want to get a bit more set up like that. Oh, that's so much better, look at that. When we moved into the house, we were using the main bathroom for a short while. I think I would have showed that. The ensuite just wasn't in a position, the shower didn't work, it didn't get hot, blah, blah, blah. So we ended up using the main bathroom for a while and then swapped over to the ensuite. Now, I also remember when we started to use the ensuite thinking, this extractor fan's not very good, but I remember actively thinking, I don't actually think it goes anywhere. So with an extractor fan in a bathroom, to remove the moisture and just, you know, dampness in the air, which isn't good for you or for your house, you want to have an extractor fan so that it sucks all of the air out. And if you don't have an extractor fan, then you want to leave the windows open. Now, we leave the windows open all the time, but the thing is, with really hot air, with really hot water, it just kind of sits and sticks to all of the walls and the ceiling. When me and Rob shower, maybe like a 3 to 5 minute shower each on average, the ensuite will be sopping wet, like soaking. Anyway, long story short, the guys have got here today to plasterboard. We have these bows in the ceiling boards for the loft that I think I mentioned I had a suspicion might be water damaged. Turns out they are. They're absolutely water damaged. The insulation up in the loft is damp and wet to touch. I'm absolutely fuming. Today I've woken up expecting to just have a chill day, sitting down doing my work because I've got so much work today. And on top of that, I now need to come out to Screwfix, buy a dehumidifier, spent £200. We're going to spend £200 on a dehumidifier. I was looking to rent one, but it's £75 to rent one a day, whereas we can buy one for 200 quid nearly, and then that means we've got it because we need to dry out the loft and we're going to have to use it whilst we shower potentially until we can get someone to come and actually put that extractor fan out of the wall. But yeah, I just don't know what to think. Older houses, they really try you. They really, really do. Like new builds, I don't think you'd have this problem, especially in the first 2 years, because there's loads of regulations now and you can kind of get the builders come back within 2 years to come and fix problems. But with older houses, you got nobody, you got yourself. Ooh, she big. I've just unboxed it. This is what it looks like. It's actually really sleek. This is the air vent. It's got a control panel and it's got loads of functionality. You've actually got a laundry set in there. It also has a defrost mode, a high fan speed, and it actually assesses the air in the room and tells you how much moisture is in the air. If you have a bigger leak issue like we do, you can actually attach a hose so that it will run the water out continuously, but I don't think we'll be able to get the hose to the loft to do anything like that, so we're just going to go with the little bucket functionality. And this is a standard plug. One of the ones that I wanted to rent, which was a more industrial one, needed a transformer, which was like another 80 quid, so we decided to go with this and hopefully this works. Just put it on, and when I first plugged it in it said 70%, and that was literally maybe 40 seconds ago, so the humidity in this room is rising. It's still settling itself. I reckon it will go close to 90, 100 if I'm being honest. Right, I've put this on to run for 24 hours and I've faced it hopefully in the right direction. I was just looking, I don't know if I can zoom and show you. And then do you see that dark patch in the middle? That's where the vent was facing. And then there's loads of water leaks just on the felt around it. So they just had the end of the vent just shoved in that corner. Honestly, I actually can't believe it. Good evening. It is now about 5:15. We have had an absolute day of it. I went to Screwfix and I picked up a dehumidifier, which basically sucks all of the condensation out of the air. Really good if you are someone who lives in a flat or a house that has really bad condensation, you have a lot of mold, or it feels quite wet and damp, especially in the winter time. If you can afford one, get a dehumidifier. It is a game changer. So we have put it up in the loft, I think I showed you, and I've already emptied one whole tank of it today. Our plasterers today have been really accommodating. They couldn't get on with the loft boards, which they wanted to do, which is a shame because Alfie brought another plasterer here today so that they could do the bigger jobs together, because the plasterer is not available for a week. So instead, they were really accommodating. They've left that. They said, right, let's try and get that dehumidified. And they have done the downstairs hallway, the utility room and the small bathroom, meaning that there are only 3 places left to do, which is the kitchen, the living room and the upstairs loft boards when we finally get around to fixing that problem. The reason why they couldn't do the loft boards, I don't know if I've said this, is because Alfie didn't want to install new plasterboard knowing that there was still moisture in the air, because that can actually affect the new plasterboard, and he didn't want in a couple of weeks time for me to ring and be like, hi, the ceiling's bowed again. He wanted to make sure that we fix the problem before we install the new stuff. But yeah, we're going to have to change all of the insulation up there as well, which we probably did need to do because this house does get very, very, very cold. Another thing, which I think I did speak to you about, is the ensuite extractor fan doesn't go out of the house. The flue doesn't lead anywhere. It's not flued out of the house. The pipe, which goes into the loft and then it just sits in the corner, it looks like they tried to pop it down into what is called, I've forgotten the name, I'm going to pop it on the screen here for you, and it's basically a border around the roof of the house that allows ventilation to get up into the loft, and you can connect an extractor fan pipe down into one of those, but they didn't do that. Whoever installed our extractor fan and did our ensuite makeover didn't actually connect it anywhere, so we have been using it unknowingly pumping condensation water into the loft, which is so bad for it. It's bad for the wood, it's bad for the felt, it's bad for the plasterboard, it's bad for everything. It's just really crappy that they did that. But anyway, Alfie is going to be able to fix that for us as well. Man of all trades, really happy about that. And he's going to try and do that. When is he going to try and do that? He's going to try and do that, I think, tomorrow or Wednesday. Rob and I still have the really fun job of taking down the coving today in the living room. It's the last room that has it, but we're going to crack on. We're going to put some tunes on and we're going to both set to take the coving down, because once it's down, the boys can plaster it tomorrow, and that means the living room's done, and that is a big, big part of the house finished. So, yeah, wish us luck.
Those colorful eyes, they don't shine like they used to. The city don't want us, babe. We won't survive this place. The city don't want this. The city don't want this. And if I would lie and stay, it wouldn't feel the same. I won't lie. No, honestly, it doesn't feel like home, like home. Home, feel like home. I faded
I've got my PPE on. I've wrapped my feet up. These are basically the new Yeezys. They actually look like snow boots. They actually look quite cool. And then this is me. This is how I look right now. Got all my PPE all the way to the top. I've got my mask, which I will be wearing, of course. My goggles are going to go over my glasses. I probably should put some contact lenses in, might make my life easier. And then this is me, and I've got gloves, of course. I've got everything that I need ready up already, waiting in the loft, so it's just a case of getting in there, and I'm just going to dive right in and just, it's going to be horrible, it's going to be sweaty, it's going to be hectic. It's going to be long, but it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm hoping I can get a good few solid hours done. Hopefully it won't even take that long, touch wood. Hello people. I have been in the loft for an hour. I'm hoping that you can see me and you can hear me. The lighting is low. I am covered up in PPE. I am sweating right now. If you're going to do this sort of job, definitely do it in cooler weather like it is now, because even then it's still boiling hot. I can tell that we've got this fiberglass type insulation, because it is piercing my skin. It's piercing through my PPE, through my clothes, through my gloves. So upon reflection, if I were you, get some of those full rubber gloves. They come in like a red colour usually. 2 layers of leggings, 2 long sleeve tops, maybe even 2 overalls. But other than that, I'm actually fine. I've been in here for an hour and I've done half of the loft, which I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna take me all night. So I'm really, really happy. I'm getting into the swing of things. I haven't been able to really film on my phone because I didn't bring my camera up here because I didn't want to ruin it with all of the dust and everything. I've been rolling up the insulation as best as I can, getting it as flat as I can. You can kind of really try to flatten it, putting it in the bag, maybe getting about 2 to 3 rolls. The rolls run between the joists, which I'll show you now. But I'm always making sure to stand on either a joist, or we already have some of this flooring put down already to stand on because it runs against the joists. You never ever want to put your foot on that plasterboard. You put all your body weight on there, you're likely going through the ceiling. One of my Yeezys has popped. But I've managed to get all It actually starts further up. You can't really see, it's a bit dark. I've managed to get from all the way up there, all the way up here, down this section, back up to the other side of the house, all the way here, and this is where I've just stopped off. This is past the loft, so it's about past the midpoint of the house. So I think I'm just about either halfway or just over halfway. It's been easier enough so far, but now I'm gonna have to tackle this with all the bins that I've put there, but I can move those. But there's also a big wooden section which you'll probably see when there's a bit better lighting in a second. Yeah, this is really hard work, but I'm just gonna have to push through it. So hopefully maybe another hour, maybe 2 tops. I've done all the bags. I've double bagged them as well, just because fiberglass is actually quite dangerous for you, hence why I've got this FP3 mask on, which is like I think the highest category of filter mask you can get. I actually feel really good breathing this. This is one of the best masks I've ever worn. Oh, also a little bit of an update for the humidifier. It looks like we're cooking on 67, which is a little bit less than the last couple of days. I've left it on the clothes drying mode because apparently that's the highest setting you can have. I think the insulation has been holding on to a lot of moisture, so maybe we'll see that go down a lot quicker now that I've taken out all of this insulation. I feel like I've learned so much about lofts the last couple of days. It's actually quite interesting. But yeah, let's crack on.
Got a tendency to fading out underwater. Yeah, are we losing touch? Are we falling?
Oh my god, you will actually not believe what has just happened. Just taken out most of the insulation. Got it all bagged up, all taken out. And then, I don't know if you saw, I was walking down some boards. This is the boards. It was like a walkway that the previous owners must have put down so that they could lay the insulation, but they'd nailed it down and they'd left it flat on top of the insulation. And because of all the condensation in here from the extractor fan, the insulation tucked underneath these boards was drenched, like soaking wet to touch. Yeah, I'm honestly at a loss for words as to why people would behave that way and feel like that's acceptable to do stuff like that, because it's created such drama for us. Yeah, I've learned so many skills about lofts, blah blah blah, but I didn't want to learn those skills today. But yeah, this board, I don't know if you can see any light reflecting off of it. It is soaked. It's like a plasticky cover on top of whatever that board is, soaked, sopping wet. Anyway, I thought I'd just say that's a little bit of an update. Rob came and helped me for the last little section to get these boards up, and we're going to leave it to dry with the dehumidifier overnight. We're about to hoover up all of the extra bits of dust and left little bits of rubbish, and then we're going to shower. What's the time? Is it about 6 o'clock?
Nah, about 5:30.
Hello, checking in for the last time this evening. It is currently maybe about 6:30, 7, I'm not actually sure. We have taken out all of the insulation. I've hoovered every single board for the blueprint of this house. My back is in agony and I am just feeling horrendous right now. This is not a fun job. If you ever want to attempt to do this, just know it's gonna not be a fun job and it's probably gonna ruin your day. But it's looking super clean, so I want to show you. All of the debris and dirt has been hoovered up from inside the boards. That section up there is way better than this section back here because I've just run out of energy towards the back. But I got up like the big chunks of insulation that were left over, just dirt, anything that had like black mold on it. I was able to suck all of that up, and that goes for all sides of the loft. I'm really happy. I've even hoovered up all of this boarding, so we'll be able to store stuff on here if we need to. The next action is I'm going to take all my stuff out, put the dehumidifier back on and let that work overnight. Hopefully now it's not going to have as much water to take out. I don't think you can really see. It's probably not the best lighting right now, but we did have a wet spot. I don't know if I'm even looking at the right point. Earlier today I did see that it was still a tiny bit damp, but I can't really see it now, so I'm hoping that means that it's kind of evaporated and it's starting to release all the moisture that all of this horrible insulation was holding on to. What is best to do now? I mean, I broke through my Yeezys. All of my PPE needs to go straight into a bag, and I need to go straight into the shower, and anything that has been up here covered in dust, like my lamps, the hoover, all of my tools that I've used today, they're going to get wiped down with a baby wipe just to make sure they're clean. It's the next day. We have been taking out all of the damp and mouldy insulation in the loft that was caused by an extractor fan, which wasn't actually connected to the outside of the house, which is a big no-no. So I don't know, if you're moving into a new home, make sure that everything is hooked up and is extracted as it is meant to, because it will cause you damage. It will cause damage to the house and it will cost you a lot of money. This is going to end up being like another £1,000 or something that we have as an unexpected cost. When we viewed the house, it looked like the loft was insulated and everything was good, and we thought we'll just board over it. But now we've had to rip it all out. We're going to have to pay for new insulation and boarding, and it's not that cheap, and there is quite a lot of space to cover. But it is what it is. So because the extractor fan doesn't get vented out of the house properly, we need to create like an escape route for it. That escape route is a roof vent tile. So it's essentially a tile that looks like your existing tile, but it's got some holes, some perforations in it that connect to the extractor fan tube and allows the air to emit, and that's the only escape route for it. So it's not going to expand anywhere else in the loft. The roof tiles we've got, and it's always this way, are discontinued. They're old, they don't make them anymore. They've discontinued them, so you have to get them made to order, which can take up to 3 weeks. And I was like, oh my God, no, I can't live in this for another 3 weeks. This needs to be fixed, because we need to be able to use a shower room, because we can't use the other main bathroom either, because that's got the same problem. There's not even an extractor fan in there. There's just a hole in the ceiling. And what the previous owners did was they fitted what looked like an extractor fan and laid a piece of wood on top with a screw in it so that it didn't fall back out. There's no extraction whatsoever. The second issue is I would do it myself. It looks like it's an easy enough job to fit the tile. I've watched so many videos. I can't get up that high. We used our new ladder. By the way, that ladder is amazing. It's great. It's the TB Davies combination ladder, and we got it in like one of the medium sizes. Fantastic bit of kit, and we're going to be able to use it up the stairs when it comes to like painting the hallway and stuff. We've been able to use it to clear out gutters and to top the trees. It's brilliant. We can physically get up there with that ladder. It goes that high, but I'm not confident going up onto the roof of the house. Like, that's super high. I've never done it before. I don't know about foot placement, anything, and I think that is just a little bit too far of a stretch for when it comes to DIY. Looking for this roof tile was painful because I needed it ASAP as well. Like, I wanted it here today. We thought we were going to be fitting it today and everything was going to be well with the ensuite, but I couldn't be waiting 3 weeks, so I took it upon myself, as I always do. I will find a way. I troweled so many websites. I've been on eBay trying to figure out what roof tile I have. This is the roof tile, so it is the Marley Bold roll. So we've got two quite predominant rolls. They're out of manufacturing, they're not made anymore, but I ended up finding this company called E-Roofing. It is actually available on another company as well, I think this one called Roofing Ventilation, but their wait time was 7 to 10 working days, which again, I need it now, honey. I looked at this and I thought this looks similar to ours. I rang them and I spoke to a guy called Kai, so shout out to Kai at E-Roofing. Honestly, he was fantastic. He said to me, like, don't panic, we'll figure it out. I sent him pictures over email whilst I was on the phone to him, and he, without a shadow of a doubt, was like, yeah, that's a bold roll, a Marley Bold roll, and we sell the vents for them and you can get it next day delivery, which I was so happy about. I mean, it is a pretty expensive price, but needs must. I've also gone in to get the adapter for it and the flexi pipe as well, because I just want it all to connect. I don't want to be trying to cut any corners and saving money and causing ourselves any more headaches. I'm just going to grab all of it. So I've also added these Timlock underlay felt lap vents, pack of 10 of them, so that's going to help with circulation in the loft, helping it escape out of the eaves. I think that's what you call them.
Yes, good boy. Jesus Christ, I didn't say stump, I said just put pressure on it.
Putting pressure in it won't move it.
Jesus! Yeah.
We have had a delivery. Honestly, shout out Kai at E-Roofing because he really did the thing. This got delivered at 7:45 this morning. Wanted to do a roofing haul. This is the main thing we needed. This bad boy. Isn't it a beauty? It's cost me 50 quid. This is by this brand, Clobber. It'll stop any excess rainwater or dirt getting in the top, but it will still allow the air to penetrate around the sides, like the hot steam air. I don't know if you can really see. It's really hard to see, show on the camera, but there's gaps in here. From the back you can kind of see the meshing, and then that's the vent area. And then on the back, so this one goes on the roof as a roof tile. It slots in place, our existing roof tile will fall over the top, and then this one will sit on the next one along. Hopefully they're the right size. It feels really big, like I didn't realise that the tiles were that big. But to be fair, I've just hung it out the window on top of the ones below our window, and it looks perfect. So happy with that. This is the adapter which fits on the back of here. This bit then connects to here, I'm guessing, or this way, like this. That'll go on there. Shove it on, that will go onto the extraction pipe, but the extractor fan isn't only that far away, so we'll have to kind of extend it, or we'll just use the existing one because the existing one does actually reach all the way. And then the other thing that I bought, which is separate from that system but still in terms of ventilation for the roof, are these, which are called Timlock felt lap vents. To make sure that the felt gets airflow, you install these little flat vents. They've got these little clips. There's another brand that do them, Man something, which I think are the more popular ones, but they were out of stock, so I just bought these ones. These are actually cheaper by a couple of quid as well. They've got these little hooks here which you use to hold on place on the flap. You put it down through the flap. One of the flaps will be here, the other one's behind, and then all of these little gaps here is what allow the airflow to come through. So you also have to put them in a staggered approach from what I've seen online. You don't want to have them opposite each other because the air just goes in one vent and out the other. You have to stagger them and make them all random so that the air comes in, circulates, and then finds an escape route. I feel like I know a lot more about roofing, which is quite good. I always really do enjoy like learning all of these things, but it's just so mind-boggling to get your head around, especially when at first it feels like such a big problem and you're like, this is like a specialist subject. A little bit of Googling can get you a long way, and help for people as well. So I'll show you the bedroom. I was tidying it last night. The second bedroom, which is now going to be the walk-in wardrobe. I'm really excited for this. Let's show you. There we go. Both of those ceilings have dried out now, looking good. And you can see, so this is both of our existing wardrobes up against this wall, and we still have a really decent walkway into the room. So I was worried that they might come a bit too close here, but there's actually a lot of room over that way. Yeah, it feels like we've made the right decision with this. It's a good size. We're going to have plenty wardrobe space, and that should leave us with still this much of the room. You can't really see the best on the camera, but I'm thinking that's a really good size to be able to make just a small little island for me to do my makeup on. The thing with IKEA Pax wardrobes is, that's these, you're able to really customise them. You're able to make them look exactly how you want them to. People are so creative on the internet. We've only ever had standard doors for ours, like the mirrored doors, which I don't really want anymore. I'd like to get kind of like a nice looking mirror in here rather than a mirrored door. Either buy doors from them, or you can make your own doors out of MDF, which I think we'll do. I'm also thinking, I don't know if you can, yeah, you can kind of see here. So these wardrobes are the 201 centimetres. I think they also do a 230 or 240 centimetre height wardrobe. Now our ceilings are not high enough for that, unfortunately, which is really rubbish. I think we're like just about 5 centimetres under or something like that. But I would love to gain a little bit more height on top. So what I'm thinking is I could also potentially box out on top of these just to match, like create a smaller box so that I can put things like shoe boxes that we're not using, flattened handbags, you know, when you've just got like little bits, or baskets that just have little bits on, I can put them all up there just to make use of that space, else it's just a vacant space that's not going to get used. So yeah, I think by the time we've raised this off the floor a little bit, we'll probably have a good 15 centimetres. I don't know, I'll have to see if it's worth boxing out, but I will try to do it, because if I can also bring them all the way to the ceiling, I think that will make it look better. Whereas when they're kind of a bit lower than the ceiling, it brings everything down, whereas if you bring it to the ceiling height, it draws your eye up, sort of thing. It's taken a year, but it's been well worth the wait. Just a little reminder that if you're on your homemaking journey as well, please don't feel like you need to get everything done. I've had some really lovely discussions in my DMs with people, how we're both in similar kind of places. They've lived there for a year or 2 years, they might have a bit more renovation than us, or they might even be living in kind of more of a new build, but it takes time, money. We don't have unlimited money trees. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes practice in learning what sort of style you want. You don't want to go out and spend all your money on things that seem really trendy at the time, but they're not actually really you. They're just a trend for a while, and then they're kind of like a distant memory for most people. So lean into what you like, stick to your guns, stick to what feels good to you, because at the end of the day, it's your home. And that's how I feel about when I do makeovers. Oh, but I want to make really good content, but I do need to keep at the forefront of my mind, it is our home and we need to love it and enjoy it. So we're going to really make sure to do that with all of the room makeovers going forward, but we're really excited. Even Rob's got a little bit of a spring in his step. I mean, he's a bit fed up with this whole plastering situation, but it's very dusty and he doesn't like that. But in terms of getting rooms done, he's like, let's get them all done. He keeps saying to me, I'll take like 2 days off work and we'll get like 5 rooms done. I'm like, I don't think that's how it works, but I love the enthusiasm. So yeah, some fun stuff to come. So yesterday the plasterers finished off everything. Managed to get every single ceiling in the house plastered. The house is upside down. I feel a little bit manic. Rob's not been enjoying either. We don't really love the thought of living inside a dusty renovation, but we've got to get on with it.
That's what we signed up to.
That's what we signed up to. We had that really big bow in the ceiling before, and that's pretty much that now. There's one little section where there was a slight bow, but we decided not to take, actually literally where Rob is now, we decided not to take that bit down because it just wasn't worth it. It's the slightest bow ever. But yeah, most of this is all flat. We've installed the tile, roof tile, which is a vent for the extractor fan in the loft. So that is all finally flued up properly. I tested it this morning. I went outside and I was like staring. Whilst Rob was in the shower, I was staring. It was really hard to see because it's such a bright day and it's not cold enough for the water to instantly turn to like condensation in the air.
You should probably specify that when I was in the shower, you were staring at the tile,
Yeah.
not at me.
I wasn't staring at Rob. I was staring at the tile. So it was really hard for me to kind of see if it was working, but I did catch a few glimpses. I tried to film it for you guys as well to show you. It looks like smoke coming out of a chimney basically. So it was working. I then went in the loft as well and checked it, made sure that I couldn't feel anything coming out of the vent. Happy with that. Yesterday as well, I installed some of the tile vents for the flaps, for the felt flaps. Felt laps vents, that's what I installed. So I managed to install the felt lap vent as well for the roof, and that's going to help with circulation improvement in the loft. One of the next things that is of importance to us is to get the insulation back in. Our plasterer gave us advice to roll it back down through the joist like it was before and then across horizontally, and that's going to really hold in the hot air of the house and improve our energy savings overall. So initially it might be a bit more of a cost up front. It will be because we're paying twice the insulation, but it's going to help overall. So yeah, we've made some really good progress. I'm really happy how everything's gone on. Rob and I woke up early this morning. We went to B&M and we bought loads of supplies. We bought new mops, new buckets, new microfibers, sponges, cleaning products, because the whole house is covered in dust. The walls still have a fine lining of dust. There are drips where the plaster, the like kind of watery plaster has gone down the walls, and though it's not an issue and you can paint over it, I would rather have it cleaned up and then we can paint, and I don't feel like there's any drips going to appear under the paint. If you are thinking about getting your ceilings plastered, it is a very, 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 very messy job. If you are in a position where you can get your ceilings plastered before you unpack boxes, move in properly, start getting your rooms together, I'm really, really glad that we only decorate 2 rooms in the house, because you definitely do need to paint afterwards. So yeah, these are just things to consider. But yeah, that's it for completion of the plastering the ceilings and all of the monstrosities that hit us along the way. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something. We certainly did. It's built our character for the oncoming renovations. If you haven't already subscribed and you want to follow along on this journey, please do hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell too, so that you don't miss when I upload, because I'm kind of sporadic with that. And if you want to follow me over on Instagram and TikTok as well for more kind of up-to-date, especially on Instagram, up-to-date daily updates, then I will leave those here for you as well to follow. Thank you so much for watching if you got this far, and I will see you in the next one. I have no idea what the next video entails, I can't lie. So yeah, it's a surprise for us both. Until next time, bye guys. Mwah.